Hello. Welcome back or welcome in. This is Little Wins and I am Tony. And on my channel, I talk about Parkinson's disease. It's a raw look. You see me as I am. I show you things as they happen, good, bad, or ugly. No filters, no editing. So that's how we run it, so you get the real idea of what happens when you have Parkinson's disease. I personally have Parkinson's disease. I've been diagnosed for less than a year. I also have cervical dystonia and REM sleep disturbances. So that's about me. And tonight, it's tonight for me, it might be today for you, but whenever you're watching it, this subject today is about caregivers, in particularly from my situation. And for my situation, my caregivers are my son and my daughter-in-law, whom I call my daughter. I don't feel any love differently or less than toward her than I do for my own son. That being said, when I started needing help, I saw a huge difference in the natural child versus the in-law child as far as understanding and caregiving went. And it confused me a lot, and I finally understood it, and I want to share that with you because I don't think I'm the only person who would be in that situation. Okay, so I'm going to share getting through that process with my kids together. Now, I had started getting sick in April of 2021, and my son was married in August 2021. He had met his wife the previous October. So, she met me, you know, and they were married not too long after. So when she met me, I had already started getting sick. It was my digestive system and everything that was going wrong. That was the pre symptoms or beginning symptoms of Parkinson's disease. So, last fall, around July, so still summer, when things were getting more complicated, I had had several falls, I had been sick, surgeries, hospitals, endoscopies done repeatedly for my stomach. I was becoming weak. I had periodic tremors of my hands. Prior to that, all things, problems with my sleep, and just generally didn't feel well. I slept a lot. I was exhausted a lot. And my daughter would say, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And my son would say, that's okay. But he would also say, can you do blah, blah, this or that? Can you wash my jeans? Can you help with mowing the yard? Can you do different things? And I was like, how he doesn't know that I don't feel like it. And it wasn't just doing things. He would ask me, they would decide if they, I would cook dinner often, and sometimes they would decide to go out to eat. And when I cooked at home, I didn't eat with them, maybe a bite or two of food. And they would go out to get something to eat sometimes, and they would ask me if I wanted something to eat, and I said no. And my daughter would say, that's okay. My daughter, the in-law, that's okay. If you change your mind, call or text us. Let us know. We'll bring you anything you want to eat. My son would pick up food for me while they were out and bring it home, and I couldn't eat it. And I kept asking him, please don't bring me food. It's just waste, because you all don't need to eat 2 dinners, and I'm not going to eat it, so it's just wasting food and money. And it took almost 2 years for him to stop doing that, of telling him. And then last July, when things kept getting worse, and I said, I need to lay down. And my son said, okay. My daughter said, okay. But my son would say, as soon as you're awake, we're going to walk. Do my walk that my physical therapist wants me to do. And I would say, okay. Or I would say, I'm too tired. Or I would try, and I would just be too tired to try to walk in. We would go to a store, so it was a flat surface, and I would end up sitting on boxes or shelves or a chair or whatever I could find. I would need to sit down, and they would want to go places. Let's go to somewhere, and I would say, I don't want to go. And my daughter, the in-law, would say, that's okay. You don't have to go if you don't feel like going. And my son would say, no, you're going. You get dressed. We'll wait for you. You're going. You can't stay at home. And I couldn't figure out why there was such a difference between the way the two of them would respond to what I was going through and what I needed. Because I needed them to, I don't know, I felt, it made me feel conflicted, and I wanted everybody to be on the same page. I felt at moments that my son was being mean to me or not nice to me, which I felt that way because I didn't feel good. He never said anything negative. He was always positive, but I took it in a negative way. And I would think, why does he want me to do this? And it would really upset me. And then one day, after dwelling on it forever and trying to figure that out, while I'm also very depressed, my son said, I'm sorry. I was very depressed at the time as well. But I was trying to think of ways to make myself not depressed or change my mind or do what I could. And one day my son words were in my head a lot. He wants me to walk. Can I do this? Let's do this. He wants me to go somewhere. He wants me to eat. He wants me to do this. His wife, on the other hand, my daughter, she was like, no, it's okay. You're allowed to feel bad. It's okay if you need to rest. You take all the rest you need. We're here if you need anything. These two things were so opposite feeling. And I just couldn't get my head around how or why they were so opposite in the tone, so opposite in the way they made me feel. And I would think about it a lot. And I realized one day, my daughter, she saw me from October to April as one person at that moment. And in April of 21, when it started getting bad with my stomach and I started a 4-year journey of being sick, she was witness to that. That is the only version of me she ever knew, was the version that was sick, the version that has issues. My son, of course, he's known me all his life. He knows mom that fixes stuff, mom that has the positive attitude, mom that can unload a car, fix a car, change a tire, mom that could really do things. He knew mom who could do a lot of things, and he knew mom who worked hard. He didn't understand mom who said, this milk is too heavy for me to pick up. Can you carry this milk? This is too heavy. Can you take it for me? And it's 5-10 pounds. He didn't know that mom. He didn't know the mom that was violently ill and vomiting all the time and not eating, and just my weight was coming off so quickly. He didn't know that mom. He was seeing a different mom, but he wanted the one he knew. So I sorted that out in my head, that the two things were completely different, because my daughter didn't know me any other way. But my son knew me completely different. So they both responded in what feels to them. My son, he's, it's hard when you watch your parents deteriorate, you watch someone you love deteriorate. I'm not saying that my daughter doesn't love me. She does love me so much. But she didn't have those experiences of my propping her up and lifting her up. She does now, but at the time it started, she didn't. She knows now I am here to lift her up always and always be in her corner. But she knows that I'm sick and that I need gentleness and understanding and compassion. So that was my experience with a natural child caregiver and an in-law caregiver. They come from different perspectives. And in our journey with Parkinson's disease, it is very likely that each of us with Parkinson's disease will at some point need some type of caregiving. You may need it for simple things. I mean, I shower myself. I take care of the bathroom things myself. I do some light cleaning. I do have some days I will skip the shower because my legs are too wobbly, even with a shower chair. I just feel, I don't feel like standing up very long or trying to lift my legs over the side of the bathtub to get into the shower, you know? So I might skip one day in between and just wash the old-fashioned way with soap and water in the sink. Because I do have days like that, but I can still take care of it myself. And for now, if I wash the old-fashioned way and then take my showers every other day, I'm okay with that. I also, you know, I prepare foods, do some light gardening, work on some crochet, work on my PT and my OT, but it's about maybe an hour and 20 minutes of my time that I spend doing those things, because that's all I can get out of my body in a day before it is completely exhausted. And that's my experience. There are people with Parkinson's that have that can't do this much. There are people with Parkinson's that can do much more. But there is the risk in all of our journey that we do need some form of caregiving, whether it's carrying in groceries, getting something off a shelf, lifting something heavy, driving. I'm not allowed to drive. I have to have a driver. I don't know about your state, but my state, it's illegal to drive with a Parkinson's diagnosis. So even driving is out of the question. So there may come a time, I do have to have help with cooking. I can make a sandwich or something myself, but when it comes to the stove, I have deteriorated to the point I can only use one burner at a time, because I get confused which burner's on every time. It is like I'm doing some kind of calculus, trying to figure out which burner to turn on the stove, or which ones are on and hot and the temperature. So I have to stick with one. So there are varying levels of caregiving. So with that, you will likely come across a point in your life where you have a caregiver. And it's not fun. None of us like to do it. But we all need to remember that they don't also like it. They also don't like that they have to do this. They want you to be healthy. Generally, your caregiver loves you. It's a family member or friend. And that person, generally, they want you to be healthy and they want you to be good. So it's not a fun place for them as well. And if we're arguing with them as patients, then it doesn't make it easier for them. Even while I was going through trying to understand the difference between my son and my daughter, and the reaction to things that they were having, I didn't get mad at them. I just took several times to get to my son and say, please don't buy food. That was my biggest one. The other stuff I wasn't worried about. Please don't buy me things to eat. If I need something to eat, I will tell you I need something to eat. But otherwise, it's just waste. And I would always have soup or crackers at home if I had needed it. But that was my difference in my caregivers. Child versus in-law. So it might be your aunt versus your mom, or your nurse versus your sister. You don't know who that person might be. We can never know until the time comes, I think. We might have an idea, but we never know for sure. But if you find that there is a difference or a problem, try looking at it from their perspective instead of just yours. I promise they're looking at it from your perspective. They're not there helping you because they want bad things for you. They're helping you because they want good for you. You just have to stop yourself because you're having your own feelings and thoughts in it. And you can't control all this movement that your body wants to do by itself, but you can control your thoughts, and you can take a step back, and you can breathe, and you can stop and think, why might they be acting this way, or why might they be acting that way? And then you might figure it out. And when I did figure it out, I talked to my kids and I told them, I have noticed that there was a difference. I have been wondering what the difference was, and it took me a while. And this is what I think was the difference. And they both told me I was exactly right. That was the difference. So you can't control this. You can't control your hands. Maybe you can't control your arms, your neck, your legs. You can control your ill feelings towards others. You can control that. And you can try to look at it from their perspective. It'll make your life easier. It'll make their life easier. And everyone will be happy. Okay? I'm going to end this video now, but I'm going to do, sorry, I keep putting my foot on the table. I'm going to end this video now, and then I'm going to do a second video about caregivers. And it is just kind of a generic thing in general, geared toward caregivers for things that will help them make things easier when dealing with their family or friend patient that they're taking care of. Please feel free to share this video out on your social media or wherever to anyone you think it will help. Also, give a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe. Subscribe is always free. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by.